so with this series, using a bunch of different modules from a lot of different companies that do different things, I sort of got into this pattern of using certain things in a certain way. And having the MakeNoise Shared System, there's not a dedicated mixer. There's certain things that you would generally put into a system for control or just functionality that are not here. And also to be able to do something inside of the box without any effects outside. Sorry, Richard. Oh, sorry. So my idea for this, because I use voice with my work quite a bit, and I decided to restrict myself to the system itself with no outboard gear, no After Effects, no multi-tracking, no overdubbing of any sort.
Rich, you didn't do multi-tracking, did you?
Multi-tracking? I did some serious layering. I did. Oh, I told him last night that what I did is I did this very French technique where you bust out everything and you have mixer controls and stuff, and then this. I was telling Rob last night, my patch for the shared system, or for that record, was actually more dense than this patch. I couldn't even get to what I wanted to tweak with that. I basically had to pull stuff apart to get to it. I mean, it was a lot more dense, and what Rob was saying, it's a lot of stuff being summed out and multed out, and then hard panned left and right. So you heard a lot of panning and stuff, but that was just me taking an extra voice of that on another channel to create this thing that you're thinking is bigger than it really is. It's more of an auditory trick. It's a sound design trick I use a lot when I do TV commercials and stuff. I'll layer 14, 15 sound. Sometimes it's the same sound, but at a slightly different pitch. Or you do things like that. But after if you stack stuff up to a point, you'll get this bigger than life.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
okay,
not at all.
I'll shut up.
And so basically the opposite of that. So, I had to constrain myself to using the system as it was and figure out, okay, well, instead of a mix, maybe I'll patch this here. And I was able to use stackable cables because at the time the system didn't have a multiple. And a multiple basically allows you to send a signal in so you can send that signal out to several different sources in one module instead of using stackable cable, which is what you would use early on in Buchla systems. They had these banana cables where you could take one cable and plug it in and then take another cable and plug it into the top of it, and then you're able to use it like that. So I was able to use these, and I did use one of those cables. So that was where I got a little wily with it.
I think my whole patch is almost all of those cables.
And so, I really like no-touch pieces or regenerative pieces where you can patch something up and let the machine talk to itself. You don't touch anything, and it creates these events over time. I love that kind of stuff, but I also really love the tactile nature of it, getting in and actually playing the machine and tweaking it. And that's really, for me, where that electricity exchange happens. And, I love, early Subotnick, Morton Subotnick compositions. And Tony makes a module that is a low-pass gate that is something that you would find in Buchla systems that Morton Subotnick would use a lot to create this sort of wooden or bouncy sort of percussive sound that almost, it sounds very, it almost sounds like orchestral percussion in a lot of ways, and they would call it the Buchla bongo. And so I'm a sucker for it. And so I really wanted to incorporate that into the patch and then really sort of push out and play through and sort of the first side of the record that's coming out with MakeNoise is a simpler patch, and it's sort of more whimsical and bouncy, and sort of I just sort of play through